Hello everyone, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Evolve with Titans, where I sit with some of the best achievers from various industries and try to pick their brains and decode how they do what they do. I love doing this and sharing it with you all so we can all take away some lessons that will enhance what we do in our lives. Today I'm super excited and thrilled to sit with Ashish Vidyarthi, a very famous actor in the Indian film industry. We all know him as an actor, but he's also a motivational speaker and a life coach. He has personally impacted so many lives, one being mine, with his talks and motivational speeches. I can't wait to get right into the interview, but before that, a quick note about our sponsors, Mizu Backdrop. They help these videos possible, and please follow their Instagram profile. Let's get right into the video. Thank you so much, Ashish, for coming to the show, and thank you so much for inspiring us, because I still remember the ride with you in the car where you spoke about how coming out of the fear and public speaking and all that. It really helped me and really motivated me. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for constantly keeping an eye on us and seeing our journey and giving your thoughts on that. So we all know you as an actor, villain. You're our favorite villain. You've done so many films, almost 230 films, and been in the industry for so many years. Won so many awards, Filmfare, Nandi, National Awards. But you're a villain. How do you deal with it?
Good to be on your show. So, welcome to life, my friend. In life, you will get labeled. And across 11 languages, across regions, across cultures, across the country, and across the diaspora that you meet, who are people who have some point or the other watched the films, it translates into that this guy's a villain. And that's an interesting place to be in, because it brings us to that thing that you spoke about, the label. And consider one thing, that the labels are not just for our profession. Labels also go on into our life. People label us in a particular way. And that's the struggle in a way, or if you can dance with it. Let's look at what do labels do. For example, I'm sure you being a photographer, I'm sure you are labeled in some way.
Yeah, definitely.
And so you're one of the most well-known wedding photographers. So for anybody who says he's a well-known wedding photographer, but I'm sure you relate to yourself as a photographer, okay, who happens to be also shooting weddings. And that's how I even explain about myself. I'm an actor who has done probably 80% of his work in roles which are considered antagonistic roles. And that is a scenario which happens throughout in life. In life, people will put a certain label according to what they see, what they feel, and they're not wrong. Except that we as people love to have more to us than just the label. And so therefore the journey continues. That is life. Life is about people are expecting something of you. See, first we are anonymous. Nobody knows us. Okay? There's the label called anonymity. In Hindi we say, "Kaun hai wo?" In English you say, "Who's who's this guy?" Unknown guy. So you start off, each one of us starts off from being unknown. Okay? And then we do start something, and then we get slightly known. And now comes the interesting part. As you're known, along with known, people want something to relate to us.
True.
Known, that is the label. All right? And that is the label which people love to give for their remembrance. It's like they have put a post-it on us. Right. Post-it on me saying villain, post-it on you saying wedding photographer. All right, just to remind you them, I've seen him. In fact, the interesting part is, so why do we struggle with labels? Why we struggle with labels is that that's then what they expect of us.
True.
Yeah. They will say, no, we just want you to do that. So even if you go to a film that was the same thing, same thing you have to do. So what is happening is that your creativity is being now controlled by somebody else's expectation. They are not expecting you in the larger expanse of what could be possible, but in the narrower thing. And you personally, as you say, that you're a photographer, much more to you than just the wedding photography. And all that I'll say at this point is that is the game of life, that somebody first labels us and then we rip away the label.
Yeah, so I can so relate to this because 10 years before I was a software consultant. Now I'm a wedding photographer or a photographer, right? 10 years down the line, I might be something else. So I want to constantly come out of this label. What is labeled to me, personally, I'm thinking is that Amar Ramesh, right? That is the constant label that is going to be forever. So what I do is, personally, I work on that label. There is a responsibility, to gain respect from the industry, like to gain respect from the clients, especially in smaller towns and all that. When you go, like you said, you're put as a label, wedding photographer, right? So you have to dress up well, you have to show up, you have to have proper discipline, you have to be approachable, very nice to them. You have to come out of that label and make them, see you as one in the family. So that's what I thrive for. To not come out of the label, to get the label, in a better way in their mindset. So you are an actor, and then what drove you to get into public speaking and also like as a motivational speaker?
So I'm also an actor. I'm also a father, also a son, also a brother, a husband, a friend, a writer, a blogger. And why I say that is that each one of us, Amar, are also. So Amar is also a photographer, also a wedding photographer, also a photographer, also a creator of stuff like this. I've seen these lovely films that you've made of small stories around Tamil Nadu, touching. That's not a photographer, that's a filmmaker. So also a filmmaker. I also see, so what I'm trying to share with you is that, on the visiting card we have something written.
Yeah.
Somehow at some point that becomes our definition. And, we first want to get that definition, want to get a definition which people would really admire us by. And then that definition restricts us. So I am also an actor. I'm also discovered over the years that I'm a communicator. I love to communicate. In fact, I recently wrote a post on LinkedIn which said that I recall that there was on my report card, I think we found it when I was in Standard 5, a very kind teacher had written, in the last page there's something called comments, and she had written that Ashish is not talkative, just has a lot to share. What a sweet way of saying that I'm talkative. But what I'm saying is that I discovered at that point, or for years, I was the most talkative person around. And yet I met so many other people who were quiet, and people looked up to them and said, look, why can you not be quiet like this person? So you always wanted to be the quiet person, and I found that I was not quiet. In fact, I used to play a game, I would say, I can't keep quiet longer than that. So over the years, so even into my, well past my 20s, 30s, 40s, as I was, developing myself as an actor and working all around, I used to crack jokes about me being talkative. And also, I didn't like being talkative because I wanted to be appreciated as someone who was quiet, and I was not. And I met this very interesting gentleman once, and I walked up to him and said that, I really want to be quiet. want to be the quiet one. I don't stop being so talkative. So he looked at me and said, and he was a very talkative guy there. He just looked at me and said that, why? I said, no, because you're talkative, like this one area I want to work on. He told me something very fascinating. He said, as long as you can talk interesting and you can make a difference, keep talking. And I learned a lot from that moment. The most important thing that I got, Amar, is that there are certain traits about us which we may not like. And we may not like because somebody else first told us that it's not a good trait. And when we can start actually making the most of that trait, something extraordinary can come out. And this, if I may say, this other aspect of mine, which over the last 6 years I've started exploring, has been extraordinary, because I could actually go beyond my realm of reaching to the people that I love only through my work, but also through my conversations and through my workshops. And truly, I remember our first meeting when we chatted. In such conversations, then I author what I want to say. It's something, not that somebody else is asking me to say that.
Okay.
So all that I've observed in life, all that I've learned in life, I share with people. And that's a huge, huge boon. Many things clarify for me. I managed to communicate something that makes a difference. And so all that I will say is that this transition of mine has been a logical extension of how my life has gone, and I'm quite enjoying it.
Super. There are two things I'm taking away from there.
Yeah.
So one thing is, first you find something also to do, right? And then first it starts as an excitement. And then at what point do you decide, oh, this is your passion and this is what also is your purpose? Is there a point, right, in that 6 years?
So let me try and define, like as an actor, I love, so, in a way, my purpose is this. It's like this.
The
all
lights
this,
and
yeah.
everything.
It could be here. It could be in this zone. All right. Inside of this zone, my purpose, because I don't know. There are a lot of things even happening here. That's part of my purpose. Something's happening here which I can't even see. And then there is a vision, which comes a little closer. And we see, okay, so this is my vision. And if you notice, even if the larger purpose is something, there is a vision which again keeps changing, but still there is a largeness to it. And inside of that, we set up goals inside of the vision. So if the vision is here, my goals can't be there. They have to be inside of this. And in that realm, there are our goals. So the idea always is actually to listen to yourself.
So in the space, where is that calling coming in?
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Listening to yourself. And it may sound very voodoo-ish, but the fact is, there's this beautiful exercise which Gandhiji had talked of, is listening to the little voice.
Okay.
And some years back, I had gone down to a workshop and we had done that. And I could actually see that, anything that comes up for me, a little voice first immediately tells me, should I or should I not? And that little voice I may override or may listen to. Okay? Now that is on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
When we meditate, we just think on something, think about nothing, something opens up for us. We come out with, okay, something is speaking to us, and trust me, it works, because that time we are the closest with our own rhythm, our own breathing. And it's very hard for me to define it, but I have found that in real day-to-day life, I ask myself this question, should I do it? Tuck, a question, answer comes, and it's up to me whether I want to listen to it or not.
So how do you, as Ashish, as a person, differentiate between this rhythm and the noise that happens inside?
Yeah, and so very good question actually. So the noise will have a strategy. A noise tells you, do it. If you don't, this will happen. It'll have a strategy. It'll have a, for the longer thing, do it. It doesn't look good, do it. Something like that.
It'll have a cause and outcome.
It'll have a cause and effect thing.
Okay.
Whereas this will be, courage. Courage comes a lot from the little voice. Courage doesn't come from noise. Whatever courage. I'm not just saying courage means to just go and do something. It's just the courage to, suppose I'm just saying, okay, let me admit it. Why we started the interview and where we are, probably the scripting part is what will work. All right? What will work, and we are saying, and flow is, we are flowing. And let's see if people say it works or if it works for us.
It's very interesting, and in that thing, right? you said also.
Sure.
Right. So is it okay to have multiple passions or multiple purposes?
Sure.
Does it not reduce your focus on one thing?
So life is a play of many things. All right. So there is need for madness. Oh yes.
Yeah.
There's this need for madness, and there is a need also to have a method to it, because we are not living somewhere detached, not amidst people. We are amidst people. We are amidst scenarios. We are amidst responsibilities. We are also amidst our ambitions, which are within people, okay, with people. And so therefore that is the dance of life. So even though we are talking of a singularity called me and singularity called you, at each point a me is there with a you and him and them and a whole sorts of people. So it is in this game, I think that's the dance where you say that, I'll have a method to my madness. Okay, because imagine, I'm a professional actor, and I'm a professional speaker, and I'm a professional father, and I'm a professional husband. Why do we use the word profession but don't use it at home? Because, we have to deliver.
Yeah.
Isn't it true in life, Amar, that we need to deliver? Because without delivery, nothing will happen. We just can't sit here and think about things. We'll have to put it in action. Anything that needs a coordination of yourself, coordination with others, needs to have a method. What we can do is, there's this, I know the Hindi word for that, it's called tadka. Tadka is after you make a dal or anything, then you put that oil and do that last bit.
It's called talimpu and tali kardu.
Tali, it's a similar kind of word. Yeah. The tadka is needed. All right. So even when we are doing the normal thing, for example, we are doing a very normal interview, and then we are adding a little bit of a tinge of us, right? That tinge is us. It is so much you and so much me. All right. And as we get the innovativeness and the creativity to add a bit of us to every work that we do, trust me, that work is not unlike anyone. Or rather, it's not like anyone. It's completely your own work. It's that your own special thing.
Yeah, I can so relate to this because I am also something like that. I do so many stuffs. I'm into so many things, and everything, really deep down excites me.
Excites, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I want to do that, and I want to do more of it.
Sure.
But constantly you hear this noise where, hey, why are you putting your foot in so many things?
Yeah.
Concentrate on one thing, right?
Sure.
And then also this, even though I'm doing all this, for me, parallelly, mediocrity also kills me. Like, I don't want to do mediocre stuff.
So another, just before you come to that bit, so here's an interesting one. First of all, get that if you're playing those amazing games, you ask yourself this question: are you clear that you may not win in each one of them? Because when someone is saying don't do it, because if you do it this way, then you cannot win, they're already warning you that you may lose. But the very fact that you played, you're not playing to lose, but you're okay because you know that you cannot win at everything that you're doing. All right. So that freedom, that I'm not afraid of failure. See, the point is that you're not making such a foolproof case. It's such a foolproof case. I did nothing. I just only did this. It's such a foolproof case. It doesn't work in life, my friends. You know. So in fact, it is to the excited. You know, there's this interesting story. During the times of Charles Dickens, they said that there was a story that there was this lady who was diagnosed with an ailment, and she was asked to leave this and leave that and stop drinking and stop this and stop that, and then she said, but I don't do any of those. And they said that she died because she had nothing to give up. So the game here is that stop playing those super perfect games, because we don't know. I don't know of any super perfect game plan. Listen to everybody, but do what your passion is. And the other thing is that we need not be so smart. We don't need to be even telling people that we are so smart that we got it right. It's okay to be foolish. And if some people are calling us foolish, it's okay.
It's okay.
But if you notice, we get a lot of joy of that foolishness, right? There's so many things that you do. As we are talking about how excited are we, how much do we sleep? We sleep from 10:30. So I have a joke with my friends. They tell me, I say we're going to party all night till 10:30. 10:30, I really need to. 10 o'clock actually, but I say 10:30. We party all night till 10:30. So, and then you wake up early, excited. And is that a good thing to do? No. Actually, you must do something else. I got it, but we do this. So, if you can be okay with your stupidity, if you're okay with your foolishness, you actually end up doing things that you really like to do. And the only thing that I mind for myself, and which I'd love to share with people, is that even as you're doing all the amazing things that excite you, just make sure you're doing enough to pay your bills and do things that you love to do. So earn money.
That's very important.
Very, very important. Don't say that I'm just like I'm just doing this and I don't need money. No, you need money. Oh yes, you need money.
All that can happen for 6 months, 1 year, and then after that you need money for that motivation.
And then what's the worst thing that happens, Amar? Then you stop your passion.
Yes.
Then you say, look, I went for passion, didn't earn money. If you're smart, that's your creativity. Your creativity is that you are living passionately and you're earning your moolah. Because bills need to be paid. And why? Why do you want to be that creative guy? You see that poor creative guy who's lying in the gutter. Poor guy, so creative. He's lying in the gutter. Why? Why can he not be? Look at that awesome creative guy, man. He's done well for himself. He's like super guy. Because that's the guy. And I'm not saying it's just about money. It's about then that you don't give up on your passion.
Yes, there should be a balance between.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will not take you further. Right?
Yeah. Then you at one point will give up your passion, right?
Yeah.
Why? Let's keep it.
And that is why many people forget that why they got into something. At first, they get into something because they are very passionate about it, and then they cannot handle this balance, and then forget their passion and then go behind, the same rut. But tell me this. Because we are doing so many of these, are you afraid of mediocrity? Because I always have this fear of am I doing something mediocre? I don't want to. It kills me from inside.
So allow yourself to be a little disrupted by this about what I say. So let me give it straight. So of the 230 plus films that I may have done across the 11 languages, a whole lot of work that I did, okay, were films which were not up to my mark, which I didn't think were good. There were roles which were, maybe cardboard roles or whatever. I mean, there were films that, not all the films that I, really believed in. But those have gotten me here. Let's face it. What I discovered is that mediocrity is a stick that we hit ourselves with. Okay? I have slightly altered that conversation for myself, and I will share that with you. If we can do something with utmost respect and with utmost conviction, that's not mediocrity. It's the genius of that moment. I'm telling this to you. I went through a lot of pain for a lot of years because somebody would walk up to me and say, "What, Ashish, what is this thing you're doing? Such a good actor, man. What is this kind of role that you're doing? Do something good here." And you know what? I say, "Shucks, yeah, what am I doing?" And I'm started hating yourself. You go back home, you tell your wife, "What the hell am I doing, man?" I'm like upset and angry. And next morning again, till I one day got that, can I respect the work that brings food onto my table? That takes care of the education of my child. That work which makes sure that I can take care of my extended family. Can I respect that work? And I got that mediocrity is a stamp that somebody has put on something. And then I try to align myself with that. I'll only do something this. And a similar thing about purpose. Purpose for me, people ask this question, what is purpose? Would you believe it at this point, our purpose is just to be here, to make this gesture, sitting here in front of you, looking at you. Because I don't know what the larger purpose is. Because at this point, if I die, this is the last thing that I'm doing. Can I do that last thing amazingly? So this, just coming back to that question of mediocrity, trust me, my friends, as long as we are not harming anybody, as long as we are living another day to do some extraordinary work which we are passionate about, please don't brand it that way. Because in my 230 films, I would probably have been a 10% of them things that I'm really proud of, but the rest of the films kept me alive. They still keep me alive, and I refuse to accept that my life is for no purpose. So all that I would share on this question is that don't get into that branding also. That again is, remember the wedding photographer, the brand?
Wow, this is so deep.
Let's face it. What is that? I mean, this guy, the guy who's you're just doing a job which you don't think is creative, you say that's a mediocre. Who said that? So let's have respect for honorable work.
This I can relate so much to the wedding photography, where many photographers come and say, I'm doing the same type of weddings again and again and again. It's getting so boring for me.
But that's an interesting one. You mean some of them are going to the same boy and girl as they are getting repeatedly married? Is that
no? They come to say,
I got it.
Yeah, they come and say, see, everything is same, right? Except the boy and the girl.
So you must ask them to have a word with me. So in my films, I've died 180 times. Okay? Out of the 180 times, I would have taken about 120 bullets. And then, how many different places can you take the bullets? It's somewhere here and somewhere here that you die. So mostly it's not here because it's too dangerous. So you take it here. So how many different types can you die? Even if you're not taking bullets, so what you do is you try and die differently. And then people say, it doesn't make a difference, man. Do it really well. Do it with belief. So let's, really, the other thing, okay, let's keep some humor in our life. Because all the talk of boredom, all the talk of, all this heaviness makes you feel that is such an important thing. And Amar, I've always felt, it just draws you down. If you can get, my friend, it doesn't matter. We just are alive. Thank God for that. The only person who's going to remember us right now are our, people who love us. That's it. Yeah. Then the rest will say, is that news correct? That on WhatsApp it came that Ashish is dead. Is it true? Somebody will say, let's just forward it. Somebody will say, that's it. So why are we taking ourselves so seriously here? Somebody says, I don't like his work here. He's just a wedding photographer. Don't care, man. You read that news while going to Geneva in a business class aircraft. Oh, this guy doesn't like my work. I have to do something else. Can we buy this Swarovski? Buy something good with that money. Make it feel good. But you need to have a humor in that. Because without humor, you will feel so, feel that I have to do something really big. Till then, my life is not worth it. It's worth it.
So I think you're the perfect person to tell us, how do you handle success when you've done an amazing film and the film is doing really, really well, and then sometimes you have done good work, but also the film is not doing well. So how do you handle this imbalance? And sometimes you are like the most wanted actor, and some period like nobody calls you, and how do you we can draw parallels in so many things. Yeah.
So this was in 1992 as I moved to Bombay. That time it was Bombay, and then around 94, 95 started getting work, got my national award, working in commercial mainstream cinema. By 98, I was well known. And in Hindi language, from an unknown actor, who's this guy? Kaun hai? I became Ashish Ji. So I was doing the biggest of the films, and I'd become Ashish Ji. And around 99, in one of those cases that I have to do some different work, and I just keep, being a villain here. It doesn't work, man. The same kind of villains. Let's go and work in South, okay? Because everybody comes and tells me, hey, you should work in South. Okay. So started looking for work. Okay. And so the first thing is that I came down here. I went down to T Nagar. But 5 or 6 people, they said, fantastic, signed 9 films. Signed means they promised me 9 films. Nothing happened. So after 3 months, again, heartbroken. What is this? Why is the world treating you this way? Suddenly, out of the blue, one day, I get a film. Dharani calls me, Mr. T. Ramarao calls me for Dil. Now, during the making of Dil, I think my life, I got a learning which is amazing. So here is something very interesting, Amar. So the unknown actor who had come down to Bombay, okay, the unknown, I used to ride on the bike in Bombay on the flyover, and the first Andheri flyover was there. I used to drive the bike, and then I used to, wave like this, My friend would sit there, would say, what are you waving for? I don't know, there's somebody there who's looking at me, but they don't know who I am. So I'm waving to them. So what I want to share with you is that hunger to be known was there. Just looking at somebody and just doing it. It's just what's he saying bye to? But I'm just getting a feeling what it'll feel like, By 96, 95, 96, being known, people recognizing you, all that happening. In the absence of social media, people recognizing you, all that happening. 99, I'm Ashish Ji. And Ashish Ji gets his first film in Chennai. So he takes off in the Indian Airlines flight from there. Ashish Ji takes off. He lands here in Chennai. My associate Jay Prakash is there with me. We come out, look out, there's some placard, looking some people standing with placards, something written. Read, and I look at one name, it looks faintly familiar. It says Aziz Vidyarthi. So I walk up to him and say, Aziz, Ashish Vidyarthi. He looks at me. Bombay film actor? I say, yes. Sit in car. So my guy looks at me, I don't look at him, I'm just like, my pride is like punctured. So I just sit in the car, trying to act something, like as if I didn't see that. 4 days of shooting, at the shooting place also, we are sitting waiting for the shot, somebody comes and taps in, yeah. Somebody will recognize, nothing. What shooting? Another shooting? So, somebody sitting there, come and ask, who is shooting? I just say this. So my friend, my associate tells me, sir, they don't watch Hindi films here. I say, yeah, maybe. But of course, my pride was hurt, punctured. So after each schedule, the drama happened was that here I would come here, shoot for a schedule, unknown person. That same guy, Ashish Vidyarthi, would take off from here, land in Mumbai, or Bombay at that point. And again, Ashish ji was there. What happened for me at that moment, Amar, is that I realized that this fame, this knownness is a very passing thing. Except that I was lucky that I understood it while I was working. Typically people get it after the career ends. So this 1999 learning, I never forgot. Because by the time 2001 happened, 2002 happened, by that time my films had started becoming hits in Telugu, Tamil, Kannada and all these languages. By that time, again, I was being recognized here as an actor whom they recognized. But that time, Ashish had learned that Sar or Ashish Ji or Ashish Da is a passing. So that human being, you have to. A critical thing about success is that the human mind is not prepared for success. We become mad, and when we become mad, it's like getting drunk. And that is one of the most deadly highs in life. And if you cannot handle it, and most of the time what happens is, I'm very lucky, I saw afterlife during life. You know, on that flight from Bombay to Chennai, Ashish Ji, Ashish Vidyarthi, back to Ashish Ji. So I say, what is this? The same guy. So you know, it was a moment in which things opened up for me. And for me, that is something which I carry till date. I don't carry paraphernalia around me. I don't get used to perks. Okay, I'm approachable because I know that is who I am. And I met this phenomenal person, and I met amazing friends throughout. My friends relate to me as a person. Most of them don't even care what films I'm doing or not doing. So in our home, we have no conversation on films. We have nothing in our home which says that it's a film actor's world. Because the reason is that people get interested in film actors and they only want to talk films. So it's good for them because, you know, I'll give you a lot of anecdotes about films. And then they will say, sir, you are the biggest fan, sir. Watched all your films, sir. And they go away. And they go away to have dinner or go to the washroom. But the biggest, this guy remains here. I'm so big. I remember in Visakhapatnam, you know, we landed for a film, and two friends of mine, they were, you know, their films released that time. They were just beginning to be heroes. So both of them are very good friends of mine. One of them walks up to me and says, Ashish, you know what happened? I landed, he also landed. All the people walked to me and said, what a film you did. He said once in the afternoon, once in the evening, next morning again he's telling me. So I told him, have you ever thought, why will they tell you about his film? They have told you about your film. Don't take it seriously, man. They are saying the same thing to him. Because at that point, it's autograph time. Okay? So when somebody is taking your, you know, a selfie with you, that wonderful thing called selfie, you know, they have to say, they can't say, I don't know you, yaar. Come, I'll take a selfie. They'll say, sir, you're a phenomenal actor, sir. You're the best actor and I love you. And that is why it's not to disrespect them, but to get what they're saying, but don't take it seriously. Because this thing of success, when I've noticed when people, their voice changes, suddenly they stop laughing. So when somebody cracks a joke, he says, it's a good joke. Please. I said, do something to it, yaar. Can you just move it? Can you do this?
Listen up, right? Yeah.
You become very stiff and you become, you start laughing this way and you control yourself and, you know, kind of do this.
And also they forget what brought them there.
Yeah, right? and it's madness, no? Because my point is, it's not the problem of this person. Because what happens is, by that time we have collected people around us who are telling us that the world is different. Instead of people saying hello, people say, So yesterday, remember we were talking about sir yesterday. Whole day, sir. My entire family was talking about you, sir. Too much, sir. So suddenly, he comes and says, "Hello, Ashish." I said, "What the hell? Who's this guy?" He just said hello. He didn't say, "I was talking about you yesterday." You keep him away, because Amar is a good friend, because he tells me that in your house, sir, we are only talking about you since last evening, sir. We are only talking about this interview, sir. Because we get into a world of unreality, and people around us give us more of that. So what we need in this is, the story of the emperor's clothes. So emperor's clothes is an interesting story, that there was this emperor, and two smart crooks came to him, and he said that, Emperor, you love good clothes. We will make of the finest gold and pearls and diamonds. You make that dress.
I know this.
Okay, and it's so fine that you will not feel it. And the interesting thing about the dress is that the wisest people can only see it. People who are dull, they can't see. They can't see the clothes. So it is said that he walked without clothes, and the only person who said, "Hey, the emperor is nude," was the child, who had no reputation to save. So the way to handle success and failure is not to take it seriously. And something which really helps you handle both this is if you are invested in great relationships. Because great relationships are something that we switch off from when we become successful. Then we get aligned only with people who are well connected, whom we know about work, who are giving us these beautiful things about ourselves. And therefore, a lot of people who become successful, they first find that their good friends are a little bothering now, because he keeps saying the same thing, and I don't find that interesting. This guy is good because he's more my kind. You become more my kind, and that is something which I have really worked on. Some amazing friendships. I've been really blessed that not just my old friendships, even the new friendships that I strike with people, it's on a one-to-one level. And I like those people like me, and we chat about things beyond work, and that enriches. So look not just for the riches, but relationships that enrich us, and that's the value.
That's like tweetable. Your mind is not ready for your success.
Yeah, we are not wired for it.
Wow. So is there anything, any routine or anything that you do personally to keep you, to always be in this excited state? Or what motivates you? Or for me, early mornings are amazing. I utilize my early mornings. So do you have anything like that?
I love early mornings, and I wake up early. I should probably be sleeping a little more, but I kind of wake up early, excited. Again, an area which is that I could be exercising. I'm continuously in a. That's one of the areas where I always end up feeling weak, is my weight. So, at the age of 53, I'm continuously looking at that one area which will allow me to lose weight and feel great. But what it does for me is that it keeps my hunger to do something more with myself. I do feel really excited because people excite me a lot, Amar. And through my work, through the people that I meet some very interesting people. And I strike up conversations with interesting people. And thanks to the mobile phone, I take wonderful notes as I'm speaking to them. So that's a huge repository that gets collected. The other thing that excites me on a slightly different note is that one life here, can we do some interesting things? I don't like complain conversations. In fact, that's a conversation that I peel off from. When somebody complains, I say, just be back. And just, one sec. And kind of, yeah, I think he's calling you. Something. We got to disrupt it. They said, nobody's calling you. I said, they should call you. Because you know. So, if we really get that there's one opportunity that we have in life, and if in that opportunity, can we play many roles? You know, for example, last 4 days we have been back-to-back sessions in 4 different cities. All right. Right now also, right after this interview, I'm going out for my session here at the Chola. And right after this tonight, I'm going, flying back to Kannur. And the first time that I'll be at the airport, the new airport. So it can be I'm flying to Kannur. Or it can be the first time I'm going to be there at the airport and I'm going to meet my little brother, Abhilash. And we're going to do some amazing things this evening. And late night, somebody's coming, we're going to pick them up at the airport. Tomorrow, my wife and my in-laws are going to come and we're going to drive down. Now it's a 4-day vacation after a bit, but I'm excited about it. Because it's not just that those 4-day vacation I'm looking forward to, it is also a phenomenal meeting of minds which is going to happen. And the very, very important part, I think it's what I call SIP. Okay? We all have heard of the term, right? Systematic investment plan. All right. This is of systematically investing time for your friendships. You know, in fact, in Hindi, I use this word. It's called a Yuhi conversation. It's like, hey Amar, how are you? And you say, I'm good. I say, do you have 5 minutes? You'll either say yes or no. If you say yes, I say, yeah, great. How have you been? Now we have a Yuhi conversation, not like, so Amar, hi, do you have 5 minutes? Yeah. What is it about, sir? Well, it is for this. It's a very pointed focused conversation. I got that. It is needed. But I also have Yuhi conversations, which are for no reason. And it really allows me to relax. I discover some other things. My friend tells me, listen, yeah, I wanted to ask you here, can this be done? Yeah, sure. Okay, let's look at it. Now, we didn't have that conversation to get there, but something opened up. And for me, that allows your mind to see more than what you can plan for.
I can totally relate to that, Ashish. But see, we should say we are blessed, we are fortunate enough to find out that, right? Like for me, I wake up not because I have to wake up. I wake up with so much excitement. Oh my God, another day! I want to do so many things. I have a lot of things to do.
Super.
Right? But see, somebody sitting in front of the computer and watching this interview. Do you have any action items, or do you have any advice to get to this state?
So it's not to get to, and that's what I'm saying. You know, I want to promise you this. This is not a state you reach when you're successful. You know, it's a bit like saying, once I reach there, or let me put it this way, once I'm rich, famous and thin, I'll be happy. Okay? We're never going to reach.
Yes.
Something or the other is going to elude us. All right? How will it be if we can be happy while we are making that journey? So here are a few things that you can take on, and I kind of break your rhythm. Okay? You know, routine, what do you think of routine? What kind of a expression do you get when if I say a routine? What kind of energy is there in routine?
I personally love it because I love my routine.
Okay.
Because I have my routine in a way that it enriches my living.
Now once again, that cannot be a routine.
Okay.
It's a routine. What are you doing? Routine. How is your day? Routine.
Oh.
How's your day? Routine.
I'm talking about my
so now how you're
ritual.
Using it. Yeah, it's a ritual. You're talking of your ritual.
Yeah.
Okay. We are talking of your routine. How are you routine? How are you routine? How's your day? Routine. Routine will never. And even your description. Somebody watching this, every day I go to work, every day I come back. You do not. Break that myth. No 2 days are alike. You may be going to the same office, but you're not doing the same thing. You may be doing similar things. But can you break your rhythm of that day? Wake up 15 minutes early. Get up from this side. Try to do something different. And starting from that, start observing what was different today. Amar, I think a whole lot to do is to what are we looking for. If you are gathering evidence that my day is boring, I promise you, you will gain evidence for that. On the other hand, you know what? What different happened today? And I'm going through it. Okay, I didn't see this. I didn't see this. I didn't see this. And it begins with that. So first of all, as you begin your day, try and do things differently. In fact, do things differently. Look around. Look at some nook that you did not look at as you even drive to work or you reach work. Say a hello before or after that you're saying. Send an email right now or later, whatever you're doing, disrupt that a bit. Say a hello, hi, how are you? How you been? Have a call. Do something which you never thought that you could do. And I promise you, it's a bit like the web, and we were talking about that each one of us is part of a giant web. Okay? And, we are all of us vibrating at a particular, frequency. So it's a frequency that I got. This is my frequency. Okay? And Amar's frequency is probably this. And somebody else's frequency is. So even though all three look different, for this guy, it is always this. It becomes a routine. For this guy, Ashish, this becomes a routine. For Anand, for Amar, after a while, this becomes a routine. Now the game is if Ashish can take and that is what we do. When we meet other people, we take something from them. As I shared that when I come into your office, I get inspired. I came back, when I went back after meeting you last time, I shared the films that you made with so many people. Okay? Something about you ignited me to do something else with my life. All right? So allow yourself to be ignited by others. See, if we are in a routine, if we are bored, if we don't find excitement, it's our problem. Nobody else is interested in it. But if we find excitement, if we find reasons for going, wow, during our work, that's the gift that we can give us. So I think it's a very, very self-generative thing. You don't need to go to Mars to get excited. You'll get bored even there. But on this journey of life, if we can discover new things, give yourself that gift.
You have to have that constant awareness to
continuous. Just look around. Just look around. Don't say that my life is routine. Go. It's a new day. It's a new day. What am I going to do today?
Wow, this is so deep, Ashish. Who can expect this from a villain?
Villain. What do I do? I'm a villain.
One last thing. Yeah. You're in an industry where there's so many things that is directly or indirectly not under your control.
Sure.
So how do you see when, let's say, somebody is getting a role that they're not deserving?
Sure.
And somebody is getting a popularity, somebody is getting a fame, and you're sitting there and thinking like we're all humans. Sure. We go through these emotions, right? How do you handle it? How do you move it from a negative thing to a positive thing?
So let's not even jump to any conclusion that because we are human, we do it. We don't complain. We are not jealous because we are human. A child never complains. We have now started, we have imbibed certain things. We want something that somebody else has. So here is a very straight, clear understanding for each one of us here. That's something that you have, that unique position that you have. Even the people who are watching, you have some unique position, I have some unique position. Trust me, somebody at this point thinks that you don't deserve it. I don't think, Amar. I think you're slightly overrated. Ashish, it's not so good. Ask me. I think I'm very good. Ask Amar, he thinks you're very good. Ask yourself, you're very good. But Each one of us has a certain view about that third person. Or what do you think of that person? So we are not okay with anybody else's success, and since we are very articulate people, we find a very good reason for it. And I'm not saying it without reason, and then I give a very good reason for somebody else's success. I took away my right to complain. Amar, I really want you to get this. I have taken away my right to complain. I get that in life, you get what you get. There are only two ways of living life. One is being a player. The other one is being a spectator, a commentator. A commentator will tell Tendulkar how he should hit that shot. He should have done this, got it. Tendulkar goes and plays. Dhoni goes and plays. Virat goes and plays. And each time that we criticize somebody, and then a few like-minded people get together and, say that, you agree, right? I also don't think that deserves. We're just being spectators. So my invite to each one always is, and that's the invite that I put to myself. Let's be players. Let's make the most of what life throws at us. And don't care about the spectators, please. Don't care about what people are saying about you, what you could have done, what you should have done. If somebody comes and tells me I should have done, I say thank you so very much. I take their feedback. I take whatever inspires me. But don't doubt yourself, because at this point, you are doing something extraordinary which only you and I are doing. So let's do that amazingly well. And let's not waste time discussing somebody else. But it doesn't matter. It's like you're taking poison hoping somebody else will die. Nothing happens out of that. And it leaves you with a bad taste. On the other hand, if you can start getting grateful for what you have, one of the things that happens if you're looking around all the stuff that you have, I may not have slept many hours, or you may not have. Last night I've just come in from the airport, but just the honor, the privilege of sitting here and having this conversation, even after I've missed my coffee, is wondrous. So at this point of time, you cannot be complaining. No way can you complain. So complaint is out of my life. I've spent all my life traveling around with my suitcase, and I love it because I've met so many amazing people, and I go back home invigorated rather than tired. And so it is up to us how we want to look at our day, and we'll find out if at the end of the day you are like that, or are you nice and tired. That is the day that you're really being grateful for the opportunity that you had, and done something extra with that, rather than sitting and discussing somebody else who actually, trust me, has done something good to reach there.
My God.
Let's face it.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Ashish. It's oh my God. This is gold.
Bandhu, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Bahut shukriya.
It's a wonderful interview for me personally, and there has been so many takeaways. I have a lot of takeaways from this.
Thank you.
And I hope people watching this will also have a lot of takeaways. Thank you so much for watching this, and thanks, Ashish.
Pleasure. Nandri. Thank you so much.